got to Ahene played well, but we've also been seeing him split the time with Mallore's Blair on the wings, and Michigan will have the option to attack that way throughout the game.
Now off the corner, the ball's played out of the box. Anderson grabs, ball flicks it back out to the left side towards Woods. Woods plays it in towards the middle. Blocked back out, right back to him. And he'll let it go out for a throw.
Good pressure off of the corner from the Wolverines.
And now Nason controlling back. Flicks it forward. On towards Anderson. Anderson looking to make something happen down the right flank. Just across it in the middle, but it's played off a Niagara defender for a corner kick here.
Michigan continuing the pressure early. As we said, look for this all day on a weaker Niagara defense, only showing 3 on the defensive line.
An interesting decision there by Niagara at the corner kick. Swung in. High. Headed in towards the goal. Saved by the Niagara man with Mark the back post. The good header there by Murphy. Now Murphy controls. His shot is blocked off by the Niagara defender, and it'll go out of bounds once again for a Wolverines throw.
Wolverines going to take their time here. It is a hot day here in Ann Arbor. Towing just around the upper 80s, almost touching 90 with the heat index today. So look for a lot of substitutions from both sides today, trying to keep players fresh and hydrated.
Now here's the Murphy off the throw. Swings into the box, just missed where it's cleared away by the Niagara defense. Toby Sponamoa there on the clearance. It's controlled by Evan Loro, just outside his own box. Loro, known for being skilled with those magical toes, flicks it on over towards his other defender.
Last year we saw Loro split a lot of time with Grinwis. Loro became known as Twinkle Toes, the sort of accent to Grinwis's more conservative playing goal.
Now it was a hard challenge from the Niagara defender. Has Anderson down for Wolverines, but he's got back up and the ball is back in play off the foul. Swung back over. Here's Eckenroad controlling just to the right of midfield. Eckenroad controls, plays the ball in towards McAtee. McAtee trying to get there, but the race is won by Joe Gabriel.
Just a titch too slow to turn around there. But a well-played air-through ball from Eckenroad.
Now Niagara with control for seemingly the first time in the game. Played back to the keeper, Skibber. Skibber gives it a ride. Looking downfield for Lujan to score, but it's headed away. And back towards Mallore's Blair. Mallore's Blair winning the ball, throwing the left flank. Plays it back to his man. Over to Nason. Nason finds Murphy. Murphy looking to attack. Cut out nicely by the Niagara defender, who plays it off him and out of bounds for another goal kick.
We've yet to really see a sustained possession from the Purple Eagles in Michigan territory. Michigan continuing to control the flow early on here, although we're just a few minutes in.
What do you make of the Niagara decision to drop only 3 back so far?
Well, Niagara has dropped 3 true defenders back. However, they have set back, it appears to be 2 central mid defenders in a bit of a 4-5-1 with a bit of a cross between the central mid, the attacking mids, and the defensive mid, the 5 set.
Now off the goal kick, it's one out by Michigan. McAtee controlling near center. Over to Murphy. Murphy looking to attack. Plays the through ball for Flynn Slutin, but just missed it. Just a touch too much pace on that ball. And it's collected by Joel Gerbrick, who's been a busy man here early on.
TJ Van Sluten up top for the Wolverines is hungry. He missed all of last season, as you remember, with continual injuries to the legs.
Running Coleslaw. Coleslaw clears it out.
Coleslaw.
I'm hungry, man. Coleslaw clears it out. And over to the Wolverines. Now control on the left side. Here's Woods. Woods eyes down the defender. Hits the forward from Lord Blair. Lord Blair looks to make something happen. Goes past one defender. Where it's cut out by Niagara. Niagara, pass deflected, but after a bit of a scramble, ends up in the control of Lars Eckenroad. Eckenroad finds the man back. Morris hits Eckenroad once again. Eckenroad moving towards the right side, just past midfield. Plays the ball in, looking for McAtee over to head of the defender. McAtee's there. Now in towards the goal line. Plays across. Dangerous there. Headed up in the air by the Niagara defender and caught by Joe Gerbrick, the goalie. Another good-looking attacking possession for the Wolverines, but once again, nothing comes of it.
Well, that Eckenroad to McAtee connection, they tried it a few minutes ago, was just a bit long. That time they connected, and a good cross in there for McAtee. However, heady defense from the Niagara back line to keep that one out of the net.
Speaking of heady defense, the ball is headed off the Michigan defender for a throw-in. Now Niagara off the sideline, looking to attack here. And it's played off the foot of Nick Larini for a Michigan throw.
saw a lot last year from these Wolverines and early on as well this season has been a bit of ineffectiveness from these set pieces, something that Coach Shakadeli, I'm sure, practiced with them multiple times throughout the offseason.
Now, Riley Wood standing over the ball about 30 yards out. Wolverines have 6 men in the box. Wood will perhaps look to swing it in here.
Look for him to swing it into that head of Murphy.
Swings it goalwards. Headed off by, a Niagara defender headed that one where it had to be saved by Joe Gerber because that one was headed for the back of the net. But yet another save for the goalkeeper for Niagara.
The second close defensive header right back into the hands of Gerberick.
Now here's Sapona Boa off the throw. Gets it over towards Ferguson. Ferguson controls. And it's taken away by Billy Stevens. Billy Stevens plays it back neatly towards Anderson. Anderson controls, opts to play it back towards Eckenrode in his own half. Eckenrode finds Morris in the center. Gets it over to Wood. Now Michigan is playing a little bit of possession here. Wood's content to play it back to Morris. Seems to be playing a bit of catch. Morris finds Anderson. Anderson just below center line. Now looks to play a ball in towards Van Sluten. Van Sluten. Now it's Morris. Excuse me. Morris to Morris Bell. Back to Morris. Cut out at the last second. A bit nice combination player there from James Murphy.
Little combination play, a little ticky-tacky there as William Mallore's Blair came around. He's got the legs to come around that corner. And a smart ball there, just a little bit too long.
Wolverines continue to try and put the pressure on here as the throw-in is given to Mallore's Bear. Mallore's Bear trying to cut out the ball, trying to flick it backwards, but it went off a Niagara defender out of bounds.
Well, roughly 10 minutes in here, we've seen Michigan have some class in the final third, however, just lacking the ability to finish on a few good opportunities.
Now the throw-in is just by Riley Wood's outstretched leg and taken by Gerber, who controls. Jogging with the ball now. Fixes a little shin pad perhaps and then sets it down. Kick. Now launches one towards Billy Stevens there. Heads it nicely forward where it's intercepted by the Niagara defender, only to give it right back to Anderson. Anderson looks to the middle, finds Van Sluten. Van Sluten with a neat little drag move to beat not one but two Niagara defenders and then find Riley Woods on the side. Now Riley Woods back to Van Sluten. Van Sluten has one. Saved by Gerberick. An excellent opportunity there for the Wolverines. Van Sluten set it up with a neat little drag move. Found Woods, who found Van Sluten again in the box. He just hit it right at Gerber.
Tried to overpower Gerbrick there, but Gerbrick strong enough to stay in the box. But again, Anderson and Van Sluten really creating the opportunity there from about 30 yards out.
The sophomore Gerbrick has been a busy man as he once again launches one towards the Michigan side. Now Niagara able to cut that one out. And here's Alex Dimitru playing it wide for his man Omar Cruz. Cruz looking to take on defenders now. Cruz slows up, looks like best right, plays it back to Dimitru. Dimitru looking to the middle where it's cut out by Woods. Woods plays it over to Lars Blair, who came a long way back on defense. Plays it forward to Van Sluten just over the halfway line. Van Sluten looking to take people on, goes around one defender and is able to keep possession before being cut out finally by the Niagara defenseman Tim Magnuson. Magnuson finds his man now, who sends it off the foot of a Michigan player. Oh, apparently not, as it would be a Michigan throw. Here, now Murphy controls back to Woods, who plays it back to Morris. Morris finds Eckenrode. They swing the ball once again. Eckenrode has played a deep three balls today. Let's see if he looks for another one here. But instead, he plays it up the side to Stevens. Stevens with a nice pass to the middle with just a touch behind Anderson. And now Niagara looking like a counterattack. Here comes Niagara before it's cut out by Riley Woods, who came in sliding, and they're going to award a free kick here to Niagara. Fabrizio Chiari went for the ball there, and Woods went towards his legs.
A little bit of clumsy passing from both sides here early, struggling to maintain possession.
How about Chiari for Niagara? An interesting story there. He's 5'4" and 145 pounds. He plays midfield in college soccer. Shows that size doesn't always matter. Now here's Anderson off the throw, wins it. Finds the man looking down the sideline. It's looking for Murphy. And it's played out by Kobe Sponamoa. It'll be a Michigan throw. Quickly taken over to McAtee. McAtee looking to attack. Niagara defense perhaps caught sleeping here. Here's Van Sluten. Van Sluten out to the right side for Murphy. Murphy just near the goal line. Plays it back for Stevens. Near the right flank. Stevens looking to cross in. Fakes it. Fakes away Dimitru there and then gets the ball back from his man and plays it back to Eckenrode where the Wolverines will reset the attack. Eckenrode plays it over to Morris. Morris looking. Finds Woods on the side. Woods steps up. Beats one man. Now looking to play the ball on the ground towards McAtee. McAtee had taken one touch but just got it cut out at the last second by Niagara in the box. He's unable to make the pressure toll as Joel Gerbrick is able to control the ball. Gerbrick plays out to first and down left side, crossing into Michigan territory. Here's Ferguson. Looking to make something happen. His right foot plays it back to Chiari. Chiari plays it forward for Lujan. Lujan back to Tim Magnus for the first time Niagara's enjoying possession there. Tonight's the ball is intercepted. Now it's James Murphy. Plays it back to Willie Stevens. Over to Anderson, who finds Woods on the left side. An attacking line from Woods there. As he looks to the middle. For Anderson. Anderson back to Nason. Controlling the midfield there. Plays it back to Larson. Here's Anderson. Anderson up the side towards Stevens. Moving towards the left flank. Just outside the box. The ball's played in towards McAtee, but just too far. And it's collected by Joel. And what have you seen here from the Michigan attack? Keep up the same level of pressure they came out with early?
Well, they let off the last 5 to 10 minutes there up until that last possession. So we've seen Willie Stevens continue to push up on that right flank from the back, allowing Michigan to have a little bit extra possession and a little bit of a improved option moving up the right side of the field.
We'll see how that goes here. Niagara throw is hit down the side, looking for Lujan, but it's dug out by Morris. Morris hits Murphy, but all the plans was dead. Not sure what the call is there.
I did not catch the call. Waiting to see what's happening.
Perhaps a push or a shove against Niagara, and it'll be both. It'll be a free kick here in their own end. Regardless, we're back on the play here. They carry the throw, controlling inside his own off. Plays confidently over to Morris. Morris down the side from the field to Woods. Fires the ball in towards McAtee. McAtee will get there, keep it down. Over right line. Just outside the box, ball played in. Off. And Niagara player there. Played in towards the box. Michigan corner corner. Ball flicked on. Here, loose ball taken by Woods. Pop it up into the top right corner. Hit too hard and all over the goal. Out of bounds for another. Okay. Gerbrick plays it short. He's spun well. Student gives chase. That's Gerbrick. I don't want to play one for the Niagara team so far. Gerbrick plays it. Over to midfield line. Deep here. Dug out by Morris over to Smiley Woods. Over to Murphy in the middle. Murphy up inside. Looking for his man. The ball taken away. Niagara plays one back right there by Anderson. Counter now. Over to Malloy's player. Left outside. The box on the right hand side. Plays it down towards Billy Stevens. Made a nice run there, but was called just offside. Given in otherwise.
Currently trying to figure out any kind of audio issues we have. It seems as if we have an echo coming through on our broadcast. We just played around with the audio a little bit. We're continuing to work on it, getting feedback from people at home. We will let you know as we keep going here. We're going to continue to broadcast and push through as this continues. As Niagara gets ready to.
Late free kick will be Gerbrick. Perhaps seen the most touches for his Niagara team so far today, but the score remains 0-0 here. We've got 20 minutes into the first half. One off the kick from defense. Luton's looking over his head and he's shoved down from behind.
audio. I've been heads down in the audio board for a minute here trying to figure out how we can bring the audio better to the fans at home. So check back in about a minute to see if we figured out our audio issues for a
Sounds
final
good.
time.
For now,
You've been doing valiant on your own here.
here comes Murphy up the left-hand side now. Plays it back to Melor's Blair. Melor's Bear over to Woods. Woods dribbles with the left foot. Runs by one Niagara defender. Now help comes as he plays it towards Murphy. Murphy tried to go through the lanes of the Niagara defender, but it was cut out nicely by Brennan Koslow, but it will lead to another corner kick for the Wolverines as they continue to make the pressure tell here. 26 minutes to go in the first half. Our score is 0-0. Michigan with 5 shots early and 3 corner kicks, while Niagara is yet to register a shot or a corner kick, but they have yet to make the pressure tell.
Something the Wolverines failed to do a lot last season, just lacking that class in the final third.
Now the ball played in off the corner towards the head of Murphy, but it was caught by Gerbrick. Gerbrick now looking to quickly play the ball downfield. He's got a man there in Alex Dimitriou, but Dimitriou has the ball taken away by Brett Nason. Nason now finds Woods. Woods just over midfield. Plays the ball in towards Van Sluten. Van Sluten, can he get there? Yes! Goes around the goalie off his chest. Can he have the shot? Oh, just could not finish. As Van Sluten was able to play the ball neatly off his chest around the keeper and continue to maintain control. But Brennan Koslow, the defender for Niagara, was able to stay with him and dig it out just before he could put the ball into the waiting empty net. Now Niagara looking to counter. The through ball played towards and collected by Omar Cruz, who now beats Billy Stidlin. Omar Cruz looking to make something happen here. Finds Lupon. Lupon now controlling. Alex Dimitriou tried to take the pass, but it's taken away by Brett Nason and cleared towards the open space.
Go back to Koslow there. It was a one-on-one situation between him and Van Sluten. And how good was that defending to stay in front of Van Sluten and make the stop and prevent pretty much an inevitable goal if Van Sluten were to get around there.
Excellent defending there. And it seems to have perhaps brought a little bit of life in this Niagara team. And they're now continuing to attack here off that possession. Now here comes Chiari. Chiari holding in the middle of the field. Opts to turn around and play it back towards the defender Koslow. Koslow, for first touches, and Sluten gives chase, is able to run it down and maintain control. Play it back. Toby Twenamo on the other side of his defense.
All right, Dan, I think once and for all we have solved the audio issues on our end. We do apologize and thank you all for continuing to tune in.
Now the chance of Go Blue ring out from the Ultras crowd, which has arrived here. And off the play there, it was Chiari going in with James Murphy. And Murphy seemed to win the ball, and Chiari sort of decided to sit on it. There, an interesting strategy from Chiari, but the ref says, well, you can't do that. And it will be a Michigan free kick just over the midfield line. Now Michigan off the free kick, plays it back towards Lars Eckenberg. Defender over midfield here now. Continue to see the Michigan defenders creep up into attack positions. Plays it over his man Stevens on the right side. Now Stevens driving towards the goal line where he's taken out by the defender for Niagara by Matthew Ferguson. And it will be a free kick from a dangerous position here for the Wolverines.
Going to be essentially a corner kick for the Wolverines here, just a few yards inside the corner.
We've seen this a few times today. It will continue to be Riley Woods taking it. Michigan now this time bringing 5 men into the box. Melor's Blair will wait just outside. They've got Eckenrode in there with a big target. Who's a big target? They got Murphy, who's a great header of the ball. We'll see what they have to do here. As Woods will try and swing it in to a dangerous position. Woods swings the ball in towards the head of Murphy, but it's punched away once again by Joel Gerbrick. Gerbrick, the sophomore, has stood up valiantly today at many Wolverine attempts so far. Now playing off that is Chiari. Chiari plays the ball in dangerously towards Lujan. No, Lujan fires one over the head. I'm sorry, Alex Dimitriou fires the ball. He collected the pass from Chiari over the head of the defender for the Wolverines. I believe Billy Stevens was able to play the ball over the head of Evan Laura, who was about halfway out of his box and into the net.
Dimitriou caught Loro off of his line there, playing just a little bit too far up, and was able to simply chip that one from about 15 right over the head of Loro, and that's going to give a pretty much battered Niagara team early on here a 1-goal lead, as Michigan has failed to convert any of its opportunities, and Niagara converting the only one it's gotten so far this afternoon.
Indeed, I don't think anyone would argue with the assertion that that was really the only scoring chance Niagara has had so far. And now Niagara, after the goal, will make a substitution. They're bringing in Ryan Myers, a graduate transfer, in for Sergio Lujan up top. Off the goal, perhaps looking to even continue the attack forward, but off the reset, it's Michigan attacking up that left side once again with a ball played towards Riley Woods. Woods able to collect. Michigan perhaps looking to be even more urgent towards getting that goal here. Now Woods plays one towards the middle where it's taken by Van Sluten, who had a wide open goal. It was a tough ball to play off one hop, but he had a wide open goal and was just unable to keep the ball down as it sailed over the net. They had Gerberg beaten there, but unable to finish are the Wolverines.
That was whipped in beautifully by Woods, and it left Van Sluten 5 yards out with an empty net. Just put it right over top. Nothing you can do there.
The Wolverines continue to attack up that left side, with Woods being the main facilitator for the Wolverines. Now the ball taken off the reset by Gerberg, headed away by Lars Eckenrode. Eckenrode's ball is now dug out by Myers, who hits the ball out of bounds for a Michigan throw-in. The throw-in off the reset is played over to Eckenrode. Eckenrode back to Morris. Morris controlling in the middle. Finds Anderson. Anderson up the left side now for Woods. Woods plays the ball in deep across the field towards McAtee, but it's dug out by the Niagara defense. One now by Stevens, who jumped up off the shoulders of the Niagara man there, and it'll be a free kick here for Niagara off the shove from Billy Stevens.
Michigan still showing some promise coming off of that goal as they continue to try and make things happen in the Niagara third, but again, just failing to convert on chances. Pretty much summed up by Van Sluten there from 5 yards out on an empty net, putting it over the bar.
Indeed, perhaps that play could be the story of this half so far. Now, the ball played off the reset is one out by Stevens. Stevens to McAtee. McAtee flicks it over his head towards his man Anderson. Anderson tries to play the ball through the legs of Chiari, but it's one out now by Niagara. Niagara looking to attack. Here's Omar Cruz up the left wing. Omar Cruz plays the ball in towards the middle where it's dug out by Morris. Morris to Stevens, who heads it right to the stands.
It appears as though the Dimitriou goal has given Niagara a bit of courage going into the Michigan third here as they're starting to whip some balls in themselves.
And now we'll see another substitutions for both teams now. Coming in for the Wolverines is Francis Atuahene, who has been the freshman phenomenon so far this year, looking to perhaps bring some firepower to his team. And coming in for Niagara is Hector Solario Villopando. He'll replace the midfielder.
Atuahene showed his face for the first time in front of these home fans here on Friday afternoon and gave him quite a show. Put on a hat trick, a bit of a Wayne Rooney making his transfer to Manchester United, if we go back that far. But my goodness, what a first showing for him as he's going to show his face for the first time out here today.
Indeed. 3 goals and could have had another if he wasn't called offsides. But now the ball is won back off the Michigan goal kick by Niagara, as they call a foul on Riley Woods there. It'll be a free kick for Niagara just above the midfield line.
Haven't necessarily seen the aggression thus far that this Michigan team has been displaying as of late. Just getting a little bit more relaxed, not committing some of the more silly challenges that they had been in their early exhibition games in that game at Creighton.
Now here's Dimitriou for Niagara. Dimitriou finds Omar Cruz on the right side just outside the box, plays it towards the middle. The ball is headed that way by Morris, who now clears the ball out towards Atuahene, who showed a brief glimpse of his speed there, but he could not get there, and it's a Niagara ball. Now as they play it back to the goalkeeper, Gerber.
This Niagara team playing with just 1 forward and 2 attacking mids has really been putting the pressure on the Michigan defense. Again, another awkward clearance by Morris as Niagara continues to push forward here again.
Now here's Myers, the substitute, down the left side. Myers swings the ball in, looking for the head of Dimitriou, but the ball is high wide and not at all Hampson. And it will be a Michigan throw-in.
Michigan just needs to take their time, get their footing back again, and start to push that ball forward.
Perhaps in an effort to do that, we're seeing another substitution here for the Wolverines. As Marcel Borges will replace Colin McAtee, and he'll move to the left side. Meanwhile, Morris Blair will slide over to the right side. So now we see 2 new offensive strikers, offensive forwards up there for Michigan. Now on the left side, we'll see Borges. In the center, we'll see Atuahene. And on the right, we'll see Morris Blair. Now the ball played in, intercepted by Chiari. Chiari did not win the ball, but it's won by Atuahene, who comes flying out and will get the call. The Niagara making appeals for for a handball by Atuahene, but the ref is not having it. It'll be a Michigan free kick just over midfield. Put back into play by Anderson. Finds Morris. Morris controlling the ball. And swings it back over to his defensive partner, Eckenrode. Eckenrode plays one forward, looking for Mallore's player. It's dug out by the Niagara defense with Matthew Ferguson, who plays it back out. But it's intercepted by Brett Nason. Brett Nason looking for Atuahene, but it's played away by the defender for Niagara. Over to Mallore's player off the throw-in. Finds Stevens, now who goes back to Mallore's player in the corner. Mallore's player tried to beat Ferguson, but Ferguson did well. Use his body to muscle him out, and now here comes Omar Cruz the other way. Down the right side, just towards about midfield where it's played out of bounds. Eckenrode collects and opts to lend the ball to Billy Stevens for his throw. On the right side, just above midfield. Stevens finds Mallore's player, plays it directly back to Stevens, who finds Murphy in the middle before it's dug out by Ferguson once again for another Wolverine throw.
For those who might be a little bit confused, William Mallore's player did switch over to the right-hand side of the field when Borges came in. Borges now playing the left wing with Blair at the right.
Now, the ball is played in off the throw in towards Mallore's player, now deflected by Atuahene, but played out by Niagara once again. Stevens collects off the clearance and finds Mallore's player down the right side. Mallore's player stands over the ball, looking to take on defenders, now swings it towards the middle, just too high for anyone there. Borges was the closest man to it, but it was about 10 feet high, and it'll roll out of bounds off that left side.
A little bit of trickery there from William Mallore's player to get himself open to put the cross in, just, again, a bit too high for the short head of James Murphy.
Tim Magnuson will take the throw here for Niagara, but it goes directly to Borges, who heads it nicely onto Murphy, who finds Borges back once again. Now Borges finds Anderson. Anderson's ball towards Atuahene was taken away by Kobe Saponamoa, the defender for Niagara here. Now here comes Omar Cruz up the left side. Cruz plays the ball in, was looking for Demetriou, had him open, but just overplayed it there, and it'll be a Michigan throw.
Michigan getting its offensive footing back here just a little bit, starting to put a little more pressure on again as they did in the first 15, 20 minutes of the game.
But we've seen a different Niagara team here since that goal, as now a player for Niagara seems to be injured. It's Matthew Ferguson, the defender, who will come off here.
What you were saying there, yet Niagara seeming as though they went to the wonderful Wizard of Oz and got their courage back, starting to push forward with a little bit more pace and effort than they had been in the opening minutes. Again, pretty sure that goal, the moment that gave them the confidence to push forward after they had pretty much been back on their toes and allowing their defense to stand on their heads for the first half of this half.
A big turning point there. It's as if they followed the Yellowbrick Road as we pause here for an injury to Matthew Ferguson, defender for Niagara. Both teams will take a bit of an injury break here with 15 minutes to go in the first half. Surprisingly, Niagara leads Michigan Wolverines 1-0 here. Now, Niagara has just one shot in this first half. Michigan has 6. We talked about it a lot, but what can Michigan do to improve upon their finish?
They've just got to keep pushing the ball forward into that Niagara final third. And it's just, again, the same problem that haunted the Wolverines all of last season as we called continuous games where the Wolverines would put pressure in the final third, but just lack the class to finish down there. And I think that's something that Francis Atuahene has brought to this team early on, is the ability and the class to finish those opportunities.
Now we resume play here as the ball is given back to Evan Laura, who will control the ball just in front of his own net. Plays it forward for Atuahene, who is unable to win the ball away from Myers, but the Myers header is played back to Murphy. Murphy finds Anderson. Anderson's pass looking for Murphy, but it's intercepted by Cruz here. Cruz plays it back to his own defender. Post low, content to play it over to Magnuson. Magnuson looking up the left side, finds his man in the middle. That is there, just unable to control as it's played back towards the Wolverine side.
And I think something I could have mentioned a moment ago as well is the Wolverines have been just equally as clumsy as the Niagara Purple Eagles here with their possession, giving away balls easily in their own third. And that's created a lot of opportunities for Niagara, including the one that Demetriou was able to put away over the head of Loro.
Now here comes Wolverines back again off the attack. Off the throw-in, it is Atuahene attacking, and it is played off the foot of the Purple Eagles, Kevin Garcia, who was checked into the game as a substitution. Here. And it'll be a corner kick for the Wolverines.
think we have our volume back up at full volume. We've been struggling to get louder all game.
Taking the corner for the Wolverines will be Riley Woods. Swings it in towards the box, but it is played out by the Niagara defense.
Just over the head of Eckenrode there. Went right by him, over the shoulder.
And it will be a throw-in on the left-hand side now in good position for Wolverines. Willie Stevens. Hey, check that, excuse me. For the Wolverines, up to take it is Marcel Borges, who came on as a substitute. He'll look to throw the ball perhaps in the middle, but he opts to play it short towards Murphy, who's arguing that it was deflected, and will get the call. Niagara thought he played it out, but it will be another corner kick for the Wolverines. Their 7th of the afternoon.
Wolverines have continued to put the pressure on the corners, just struggling to get that little touch off the head to put it back in the net.
Taking another corner for Wolverines. This time it's Anderson. Anderson swings it in before it's taken and collected by Joel Gerbrick, who has played very well in this first half. He throws the ball up towards Myers. Myers unable to get there first, though, as it's won away by Nason. Nason plays it back to Laura. Laura controlling the ball now. Very content to hold the ball with his feet. Looks very relaxed with the ball before he plays it out to Nason, who was just a loner as he plays it back to Laura. Laura looking and swings the ball over to the right side towards Woods. Woods collects the ball, plays it in the middle towards Nason, just near midfield. Nason plays it back towards Morris. Now Morris finds Eckenrode on the right-hand side. Moving up towards the middle, just past midfield is Eckenrode. Eckenrode played the ball in, but it's headed away by Kobe Samoa. Now collected by Murphy about 3/4 of the way down the field and plays it back out towards Stevens. Stevens finds Flores Bale on the right-hand side. Flores Bale trying to attack up that right flank now. Plays the ball, trying to win position with his body. Unable to maintain control, so he crosses in towards the middle where it's put back out for another Wolverines throw by the Niagara defense.
Again, seeing Mallore's Blair try and push that speed up through the corner and get around the defender. Just got a toe to it, but not enough to make it a true cross into the box.
Eckenrode plays it back to Morris. Morris controlling. Now over to Eckenrode. Eckenrode controls and plays it up the side towards Stevens. Stevens down the right side. Stevens looking for a cross here. Unable to find it. Plays it out of bounds. Off the Niagara defender for yet another corner.
Michigan taking their time here again. Niagara pushing almost all of their men into the box on these corners, really only leaving 2 behind outside of the box in case of a counterattack.
Corner kick number 8.
I count 8 Niagara heads in the box. 9 Niagara heads in the box now.
Playing very defensively here. As Demetriou will get a bit of water. A similar situation here. Demetriou was able to sneak back and get that goal. As Wolverines continue to pressure him, and that goal has been the lone goal of the game so far.
You start to wonder if Niagara's falling back on their heels a little bit with this 1-goal lead and just attempting to defend against a Michigan team that is eager to push up on them.
And it looks like there's a injured player down for the Wolverines in the right-hand corner. And it's Billy Stevens for the Wolverines, the defender on the right, who's played on the right-hand side today. A big part of that defense for the last 2 years since he came here as a freshman last year. And he'll check out. He'll be replaced by
Yaman Salul, I believe, came in number 20.
Yaman Salul for the Wolverines.
Stevens is able to get up, and he's walking it off with one of the trainers back towards Michigan's side.
Perhaps a cramp or something else there. You might expect to see him back in this one.
We are still waiting on a Michigan corner here.
Now here's Woods. Woods over to take the corner from the right-hand side. He'll swing it into the box. Fires it towards the head of Murphy, but it's dug out by the Niagara defense. Ball headed forward where it's won by Anderson. Plays it towards the head of Atuane, but far too high, and it will go out of bounds for another goal kick. Gerbrick standing over the ball now. Gives it a ride from a goal kick, something perhaps he's gone in a bit more practice than usual with today. And he heads it towards, kicks it over towards half. Now it's one out by Nason. Plays it back to Woods. Plays a deep ball looking ball there. Salul wins the ball just inside the box. Looks played back to Henny, but it's won by Nason, who's unable to control it. Out of bounds for a Niagara throw here.
Sewell got it back to Nason. Nason tried to get it back to Sewell. Just a little bit too hefty of a touch there, but again, Michigan continuing to create little opportunities here and there and just struggling to put the final 2 to 3 pieces on them.
Now the throw in taken by Niagara. Now over one out by Morris. Morris headed forward towards Salul, who was able to win the ball, but hit it just too far. It'll be collected easily, comfortably by Joel Gerberich, the goalie. What have you seen from Gerberich today?
Gerberich hasn't had to do a whole lot outside of the first 5 minutes of the game. The Wolverines put a few on him. His defenders headed the ball rather dangerously up to the top of him, but that's been the story pretty much for him. He's been able to sit back comfortably since that Niagara goal.
Now off the reset, it's Niagara controlling. Taking the ball is Kobe Sponamoa, plays it forward towards his man just over half. Now looking to attack, here comes Niagara. Niagara gets Pedersen, but it's taken away by Eckenrode just over the 3/4 way line. Here comes Malores Blair. Malores Blair up the right side. Malores Blair up the right side now, looking unable to win the ball. And it'll be another goal kick here for Niagara. Gerberich launches one just over midfield again. It's one there by Morris. Morris's header that was collected by Niagara, and looking to attack now for them is Solario, the sub. But it's one out by Riley Woods. Woods over to Atohane. Atohane plays it back for Anderson. Anderson plays it in, looking for a streaking James Murphy up the left flank, but it's won by Gerberich. Murphy runs into him as if to say, I wanted that one. But able to collect it comfortably is Gerberich. Gerberich throws it deep now, headed away, where it's collected by Myers. Now one in midfield, but taken out in the play was Saul, and it'll be a free kick for the Wolverines here.
The referee's going to come over and have a word with the Niagara defender, Zadair, giving him his final warning.
Dangerous play there, but the Wolverines now set to restart the play. Over to Riley Woods. Woods finds Anderson in the middle. Anderson plays it back into his own half towards Morris. Morris up the right side now for Eckenrode. Eckenrode dribbles the ball. Now plays one in towards Salul. Salul, a dangerous ball here, but it's won by Gerberich. And Salul ran into him there. He was able to stay up there. Strong play from Gerberich in this first half. What have you thought of the sophomore goalie so far?
Well, we just talked about it again. He really hasn't had to do a whole lot. He's come off of his line when he's needed to come off of his line, but other than that, it's been a pretty average goalie performance.
And collected here by Loro as the goalies opt to play catch here with their punts. And Loro sends it over to side towards Eckenrode. Eckenrode back to Loro now. Loro controls here. And comfortably plays it back towards Morris. Morris dribbles the ball up near midfield here, trying to kick something here as we approach 5 minutes to play in the first half. Over to Anderson in the middle. Anderson plays it back to Morris. Morris controlling here and plays it in towards Malores Blair. Malores Blair looking to win the ball there, but he's in a bit of a tangle. This Bonamo is able to win the ball and plays it out for a throw-in.
Good defending there by the Niagara backman, able to fight off a battling William Malores Blair.
That'll be a throw-in down near the corner as we see two quick substitutions here towards the end of the half for Michigan. Checking in are Robbie Mertz and Michael Kitua.
In place of the English duo of Malores Blair and James Murphy,
who have yet to produce a goal today. They've been the ones Michigan usually leans on. And here off corner. A dangerous header for Salul at a good position, but just played it a bit wide and a bit high on the right side of the goal.
A bit too far off the front of the head, not quite enough off the side of the head from Salul there. Again, Michigan continuing to press on this Niagara defense, but Niagara has been able to hold them off thus far. Still clutching that 1-0 lead off that goal back in the first 20 minutes.
Off the goal kick here. Michigan ball won by Capitulo in the middle. Capitulo over to Anderson. Anderson plays it back to Ackenroad. Ackenroad controlling now here. Finds Nason. Nason finds Anderson, who plays it back to Ackenroad. Once again in the Michigan half. Here's Nason now, finally moving over midfield. Nason looking to attack. Finds his man Anderson in the middle. Anderson turns the ball back and plays it back to Ackenroad once again, just back over at the Michigan half. Now Ackenroad finds Anderson as they continue to control the ball in the midfield here. And it's one off the foot of Niagara, out of bounds for another Michigan throw. Played towards the middle here, towards Anderson in the ball, but it's flicked away by the Niagara defenseman. Now here's Ackenroad, stepping just over middle. Plays it in towards his striker, but it's one out by Sponomo. And it'll be another throw for the Wolverines. Up the side now here is Borges. Borges looking to control down the right flank. Makes a little move, gets by one defender, now flicks it on towards the newcomer. Looking to cross it in the middle is Robbie Mertz for the Wolverines, but the ball is one out by Sponomo, and it'll be another corner kick.
And I think over the last minute and a half that we saw the Wolverines with some really good build-up plays, they started to push the ball upfield and get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more conservative with the passing, though, at the same time, preventing them from giving away possession like they've been doing in the final third a lot in this half, and it won them a corner.
Now the ball taken in by Woods. Woods looking to flick it towards the middle, but it's one away back now by Demetrio. Demetrio has it taken away by Woods. Woods able to keep possession now as it's cleared out where it'll be collected by Borges for Wolverines. Borges now plays one in towards Otto Ohene. Otto Ohene looking there, chest the ball down, able to flick it over to defender, unable to control a second flip though, but the ball is taken and a shot put on by Salul is just high of the bar. A terrific chance there. What creativity from Otto Ohene there. Walk us through that one, Jeremy.
Able to spin it. So the ball comes in, Otto Ohene able to body it down, keep it down, the defender and him battle on the byline, able to get that ball back off of a slight deflection off of the defender from Niagara there and really creating the opportunity, but again, just thrown away on an open goal inside the box.
As we resume play here, it's headed away by Eckenrode. Back to his man Norris, who heads it once again up towards the defender, and the ball has stayed in the air for quite some time now as it's flicked on forwards. But it's collected now by Niagara, who gets it, puts it forward down for his man. Now freshly into the game for Niagara, Steve Pondeca, who committed a foul, who was just committed a foul there, and it'll be a free kick for the Wolverines.
Just a light push there on Andre Morris, able to draw the foul as he was dangerously close to getting one-on-one with Evan Loro.
Dangerous situation there averted now as the Wolverines come back with Borges. Marcelo Borges plays it in towards the middle toward Anderson. Anderson up the middle looking for Mertz to substitute into the game, but unable to do so. Here's Cadezer, who plays it back to Koslow, who plays it out now towards the middle where it's collected by Norris off his own head, but he's unable to stay with it now as it'll go to Niagara for a throw about halfway up that right flank.
Wolverines still have the right idea, pushing forward, just trying to work the ball in, but to no avail. Niagara's still holding on to that 1-0 lead.
Has to be frustrating for Coach Daly at this juncture, given the number of chances. Niagara still with only one shot in this game, and that was their lone goal.
Just a minute and 30 seconds left in this half, as it looks as though it is going to go into the half with Niagara at a 1-0 lead if all holds, giving the Wolverines an opportunity to talk out some game strategies for the second half, as well as Niagara, who seems to have fallen back into a bit more of a defensive mode here.
Niagara trying to mount one last attack up the left side there. The desert for Niagara called for a hold there, and it'll be a free kick for Wolverines as we approach 1 minute remaining here in the first half. Cooking on the side, the ball playing in deep by Woods is dug out by Sponomoa. Now controlled in the midfield is Myers, who has it taken away by Anderson. Anderson back to Borges. Borges over to the left side to Mertz. Mertz now looking to attack down that right side. Dribbles towards the corner where he's cut off nicely by Myers, who's able to control and turn the other way for Niagara. Myers plays the ball in deep, looking for Demetrio, but it's dug out by Eckenrode there. Now controlling is Borges, but his ball is played away off the foot of the Niagara defender, the desert, for a Michigan throw-in.
Still Michigan with confident play up that right-hand side.
Now here comes Anderson towards the middle. Has it taken away, but gets it. But getting it back now here for the Wolverines is Capicua. Capicua now up the right side. Has it taken away by the Niagara defender, who will be called for some sort of hold or push
It's a
here.
handball. It's a handball.
6 seconds left now off the handball. Looking to play it into the last second. First a little, and the ball is just too high, and we will go into the half here, 1-0. A bit of a frantic finish there, but Michigan once again, perhaps emblematic of the first half as a whole, unable to finish.
Absolutely. That last little sequence there, a microcosm of how the afternoon has gone. Michigan winning opportunities close to the Niagara final third, but failing to do anything with them. And we'll see how Shaka Daly decides to attack that with his Wolverines in the locker room at half. We'll see how Niagara decides to hold on to this 1-0 lead as we head into halftime. It'll be a 15-minute break, but we'll be back again for the second half momentarily.
Stay tuned.